Hey moms, welcome to the Gather Moms podcast. My name is Kate.
And I'm Rebecca. We've created this space just for you because we're both moms and we get you.
Yes, we believe there truly ain't no hood like the motherhood, and we need to be in this together. We also believe we can't mom well without Jesus, so you're going to hear us talk about him too.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Gather Moms and make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
All right, mamas, let's jump in.
Welcome to episode 51 of the Gather Moms podcast, and we are finishing up our season of more. Today, we are so excited to have Jenny Worsham, our Gather Groups Director, back with us. Jenny, say hi to our moms and remind them what your daily life and family look like.
Thanks, guys. I'm so happy to be back with y'all. Well, my family, we have 2 kids, my husband and I. We've been married, it'll be 20 years this coming June.
Whoa.
I know.
Last episode, we talked about the golden.
I know. Do you know what the 20th anniversary is?
I
Is
don't
it paper?
know. No, I don't
I should have
know.
looked that up.
Paper's like the first one, I think.
I think it should be like beach vacation.
Yes.
Ooh, okay,
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea what we're doing to celebrate, but, you know, it's coming up. We have 2 kids. They are in 6th grade and 2nd grade. And in the school in our neighborhood, doing great. I did virtual school with them last year for 18 months. So I'm so thrilled to have them back in school.
Yes.
They're doing great.
Yes.
And we have a dog who's almost 16, and we just think she's going to die any day, but she's still alive.
This is the saga,
So,
the ongoing dog
She's still
saga.
making it. So that's our family. I'm a CPA, so I work from home most days. I go to downtown Dallas 1 day a week, and I do gather as my other hat job. So the
Lots of
CPA
hats.
is my tent making kind of. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Way to throw it back to the Bible.
Yeah.
Jenny, right off the bat, you're a Paul. Okay, get it.
Well, and Jenny, we are so thankful for that CPA hat because, good grief, Gather would be in the red every day. We'd have collectors coming for us.
I use coupons. I would help us.
Yeah.
help us.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny is our Gather CFO. What would we do without her?
We wouldn't.
No.
We need her.
We'd be in big
Yes,
trouble. Yeah.
yes.
Even today, okay, so when this comes out, our new website will have launched.
Woohoo!
That's awesome.
So we're launching our new shop, but I'm like, Jenny, what is our tax ID? Jenny, what is our bank number?
I got all the information.
Listen,
Yeah.
don't tell them too much stuff about Jenny. Someone's going to try and come get her because she's got all the important information.
No, she knows
for
all
Gather.
the things. What do you think? A drug cartel is going to pick her up, make her be?
Listen, if
Gather does not have that much money to be worried
anybody
about.
has stories about like random things that happen to him, it's Jenny. Okay,
Yes.
so
Okay.
don't say it
Yeah.
because it could happen.
That's
It
true.
could happen to me.
That's true.
It's true.
Okay, so Jenny, not only are you, I like calling you our CFO. I
Okay.
think we're
I like
doing
that
from
too.
now
All
on.
right.
Yes. I don't know what that makes the other 2 of us, but
I'm the CCO, Chief Cheerleading Officer.
Ooh, I like that.
Fantastic.
Yes.
okay. So am I the COO?
Yes,
Chief
100%.
Operations Officer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
100%.
There we go.
Look
Glad we
what
settled
just
that.
did. I love that. Okay. So Jenny, really this whole Gather concept started with you many years ago, right? And it started in your living room or your backyard when you invited moms from the neighborhood, which is our neighborhood, to join you and discuss like how they could be more intentional in your homes. And tell us a little bit about where did that start? Why was that your concept to talk about intentionality in the home? Because you could have
Yeah.
met with moms and talked about a million different things.
Yeah, I had been poured into. Kate was in a group with me for the year before that, where we had a mentor mom in our community reach out to young moms and help us learn how to be intentional in our homes.
Yeah.
And that was really a new concept for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think growing up, all of our moms in the 80s and 90s, you know, they were just doing a great job doing what they could do.
Yeah.
There was not a whole lot of extra Pinterest ideas or
Right.
anything like that out
Right.
there. And so I had never really thought about creating tradition intentionally in my home. and what I wanted my family story to look like.
Yeah.
And so that was really eye-opening for me to sit through and talk through a different family value every month we met with her of how we can implement that in our home and how we can make memories with our kids intentionally.
Yeah.
And so it was really exciting for me to think through that. And then I finished that and started meeting moms in our community when my oldest son started school, and realizing that this was a gift that had been gifted to us. And so I wanted to share that resource with other people. And so I just started, I still have the email I go back to sometimes where I emailed the only people I knew in our neighborhood. There was maybe 20 moms. And I was like, okay, this is what I think I would like to do. Well, first I threw it out to Rebecca one day, and I said, I don't know if I should do this, or I just feel like I need a new season. Should I volunteer with the Meals on Wheels, or should I do this in my home with moms?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because I love old people too. I
Okay.
do. It's something I'm called to do as old people.
I didn't know those were the choices, though.
Those were
on
my
the table.
choices.
Yeah.
And Rebecca was like, oh, for sure the moms. Not the Meals on Wheels. Although, I think it's obviously
Yes,
a great.
awesome.
Rebecca served with them
I
before,
did,
and
I
I would
did.
love to when I have sometime. But so just jumped in,
And
invited
didn't
some moms.
she give you the name Gather, Rebecca?
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all, the Lord gave us the
Oh,
name
right.
Gather.
Way to
I
good,
just
good.
saw it at Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
Okay.
It was hot
So-
at Hobby Lobby.
It was
at
hot.
times.
I mean, it still is hot
It
at
still
Hobby
is
Lobby.
hot.
I was just there the other day, and there's
Yeah.
Gather stuff everywhere.
Listen, I think it's funny that she emailed the moms. Like, that's way back when. That's what we did. We emailed people.
2000.
Oh yeah, I
16.
didn't have their cell
Shout
phone
out.
numbers.
And now we're texting and
Yeah.
messaging on social media. But
Yeah,
you
no.
emailed us.
Yeah, I emailed. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just sent an email, and so I think maybe 10 people came the first time, and I just kind of pulled out what we had been taught by that mentor mom, Tammy Shoemake, and so kind of made copies of it,
Yep.
and we talked about that every month, and the moms just kept coming. More came. Some moms would say, "Can I bring a friend from another neighborhood?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
And then that person would come and say, "Well, could I do this in my home, in my
Right.
neighborhood?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can make copies for you too."
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how it started, was let's try to help these moms near us be more intentional in their homes too, because we had been poured into.
I love that. I love that. And I mean, that's why I love going together, because it kind of refocuses what I'm doing as a mom. When we go to our Gather group, it's like, okay, let's refocus. So we're not just like, the days aren't just like passing by,
Yes.
but they can go by with some intentionality.
Yes.
And so I love that. So then those copies that you made, those
Yes.
Word documents, now after all these years, we have a published workbook called the Family Values Study Guide.
It's so exciting. We
It's
have
beautiful.
revamped it and taken it from the initial vision that Tammy had, and had a lot of other people pour in as well, and created this beautiful resource for our moms to use. A mom could use it on her own,
Yeah.
and just use it as something to work through on her own. But ideally, it's meant for moms to work through together, because the discussion that comes from it is just so beneficial. When you're in a group with other moms and you're talking about a concept like responsibility, and hearing what other moms are doing to teach their kids responsibility or obedience or courage or selflessness or whatever, that is, it's like, oh, I learned so much from them, so much more than you can just learn from a book. So,
Yes, agreed.
so it's a great resource to have. It's so beautifully designed.
Yes.
And it has extras in the back with recipes if you're going to host a group in your home that are super simple.
The
There's
recipes
icebreaker
are killer.
ideas.
Like, I was like, okay, honestly, you guys, I mean, because I have the Gather curriculum. So I was looking at the recipes. I did not add a single recipe. That was all like you guys and lots of other Gather moms. But y'all killed it with those. Because I thought I could easily pull one of these together. And I've had them when you guys have hosted, and they're showstoppers. But they're all like just a few
Super easy.
ingredients.
Yeah.
And
Maybe things you already have. And
yes, in 15
Yeah.
minutes. But it's like, oh, you know that's really good, and moms are going to love it.
Right.
Maybe a Gather cookbook is in our future.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, Jenny says
Maybe so.
pass.
Hey, CCO over here says it would be great.
Go
Okay.
for it, Rebecca.
Hey, but not only that, we also had the opportunity to do some video teaching that
Yes.
actually goes along with each of the 12 core values. And it was recorded by a company called Right Now Media, which we are so blessed to partner with them.
Yeah.
And all of that content can be accessed on their website, because that's another resource for moms to use. If they want to do it on their own, they can watch the video by themselves. But then within a group, they can watch it with their Gather Moms group and actually discuss what the video teaching presents.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a dream God gave me several years ago, was with these moms leading these groups. You know, we had started over 100 Gather groups over the last 4 or 5 years, all over the nation, one in Nigeria. And so it's I feel like sometimes, oh goodness, it's asking a lot for these moms to find, get the word out, create a Facebook page, and, and then invite these moms in. And so many of them would be like, but I'm not a teacher. I don't know how I'm going to, and I'm like, it's a discussion that you're facilitating. Right. But to be able to provide them with something to help start the conversations in their house was just a dream that I wanted, to be able to turn on the TV and to watch other moms discuss this topic. And then it just automatically spurs that conversation and bridges that gap and makes it so much easier for those moms to discuss in their homes. Yeah. And so it was just, a dream that I didn't ever think would actually happen, because making videos requires a lot of money and a lot of resources. Yeah. And so God just came right alongside, provided this partnership with Right Now Media for the mom event, and then just that fell into place, that they were willing and excited to provide this resource for moms all over the world through their platform, which is a similar platform to Netflix, but for Christian Bible studies and resources. And it's all so high quality. It's just amazing, the skills that they provide. And so it's been such a gift that I think we're going to be able to give to women that want to start a Gather group in their home, is just log on to Right Now Media and, access the videos and just start the discussion.
I am getting so excited sitting right here, and I know about all this stuff,
but
I'm just going, oh my goodness, this is going to be so great.
It is
Moms,
so great.
We did this for you.
And let me tell you something. I'm actually really proud of the content in the videos, because I think it's maybe different than what you could potentially see in other video series, because we wanted it to look like a Gather group. Yes. Like how it really looks like when moms get together on a couch and start talking about stuff. And by the grace of God.
It was a really nice couch.
It was a nice couch. The really whole nice setup was great. Yeah. But by the grace of God, we were able to have an authentic conversation, even though we're all mic'd up, even though there's these big lights, even though there's 6 cameras pointed at us, right? By the grace of God, we still had authentic, funny, truth-filled conversations that I really do think are going to be a blessing to moms that tune in.
And they were able to capture that well.
Yes.
Because my husband even looked at it and he was like, man, this really doesn't feel awkward. A lot of times when you watch someone on a couch discussing something, you're like, oh, this is awkward. Who's talking next? And, they're talking over each other. Or, it wasn't like that at all. He was like, this is so comfortable and natural watching y'all.
Oh,
so I was like, that was our goal. Thank you so much. So
go God.
I love it. So I'm so thankful for you to share about that. That's huge. I mean, we're still just kind of on cloud 9. Is this real that this has been happening? And Jenny, I think it's so important for the moms that join us on the podcast just to know more about you, know the vision, see what God is doing. It's incredible, and they want to be a part of that. So we're talking specifically today with you about more intentionality, because, that's what this family guide is all about. The family values guide, and our Right Now series is about intentionality. Yeah. And we're also talking about more and more mom hacks, right? Yes. Because when we talk to our moms, they said, we want some more hacks. What are the little things you're doing that are making a big difference? Yeah. So tell us, I really feel like you're the queen of intentionality. Are there any hacks that you're doing that you feel like have been a blessing to your family?
So I had a hard time thinking about things. When you stop to think about it, you're like, I don't know. But one thing that has been a win in our home lately is I'm working from home now more than ever since COVID. I'm now home 4 days a week when the kids come home from school. And so I have tried, ever since they went back to school, to have a snack ready for them when they come in the door. Something to kind of fill their bellies that we can sit and they can eat it and I can hear about their days. It just makes them feel appreciated and that I was thinking about them and missed them during the day and was excited to see them. And it's nothing fancy at all because I'm still working and I'm trying to get work done. But I'll like look at the clock and it'll be, 20 minutes till they're going to be home, I know. And so I'll run over, grab a, tub of cookie dough that I keep in the fridge, scoop out a few cookies, throw them in the oven. I'll get a can of Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, throw them in the oven, pop a bag of popcorn in the microwave. Something real easy, but it just, the kids come in and they smell something. Right. They're like, oh, you made something for us. And, we're like 8 weeks into school, 12 weeks into school, and they still are super excited about it every time they come home. And it's just been a sweet thing that has created a joy in our home and just allowed me to have intentional conversations with them while they're eating and just, because they come home starving. Yesterday, my daughter came running down the street. Do you have anything in the oven? I'm starving.
Yeah.
And, I was like, yes, I actually do. I have these little donut sticks in the oven and actually in the air fryer.
Oh,
you don't have an air fryer, right?
Listen, the air fryer is on the way, you guys.
Oh, yay!
Yes, the air fryer is on the way.
Okay.
Jeremy was like, I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm so proud. This is such a proud moment. Kate's joining the air fryer.
The cinnamon rolls, the donut, all the things in the air fryer.
I'm excited. Mm-hmm. So, Jenny, I think one of the things I really love about that is, I work from home too. Mm-hmm. And so it can be tough for me, especially if I'm like head down in something and then the girls come home first. The girls walk in the door and of course I'm so excited to see them and I want to hear about their day, but also I'm working.
Yeah.
And but I do want them to know that I love them. I care about them. I'm so happy that they're home. And that's honestly, I'm going to put that into practice right away because I think that's such an easy way for me to just say, I love you guys. I've missed you. And then just sit down with them for a few minutes and talk and say,
and then I get back to work.
Right. Now I'm back. I got to go back. But if I can just give them some really like good attention for a few minutes, I think that makes a big difference for them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a game changer for us in our home.
I love it.
We know that moms want more out of all of life, not just more mom hacks, but more other things, more naps, more pedicures, more coffee. But more than that, we want our days to matter. Yeah. And this season, as we've talked about, more trust, more prayer, more Bible, all of these things are really parts of our life that make the days matter. And it only seems fitting that we end this season with you, Jenny, as you talk about more intentionality, because that's really the why behind the how. Mm-hmm. So tell us, why do you think it's so important to be an intentional mom?
Well, like what Kate was saying earlier, time just goes by so fast. And you look back on the time with your kids and you're like, I can't believe they're already the age that they are.
Yeah.
And you're like, I hope that I've taught them what I wanted. I hope that I've had those memories with them. I hope that I've taken advantage of opportunities. And, I feel like when you have intentional traditions set in your home and intentional things at least once a month that you're looking at and saying, in our gather groups, we encourage them to meet once a month and to take that next month and to implement that value into their home that month. Mm-hmm. And it gives you something to focus on and to look back at the end of that year and be like, oh yeah, that's right. For Valentine's Day, we were real intentional about writing each other love notes and putting them in a mailbox for each other in our home, or, just having ways that you can look back specifically in different seasons of the year and know that was a way that we really built memories into our kids, because they're not going to remember the day to day. They're not going to remember all the things that happen every day. I don't remember those things growing up, but you do remember those specific things that your parents did to make it life special for you. And out of that, as a believer, to disciple your children, that they want to be in your home, that your home is a safe place for them to come home to, that they feel like you are encouraging of them, that you are being intentional with them, and that you're not just trying to check off the to-do list every day, but that you're really a safe place for them to land every day. And so that's our goal as moms, I think, is to try to make intentional choices in the crazy, because we're all in the crazy and our schedules are crazy. And so what we try to encourage and gather is just to pick one thing that you can do that next month that's doable. Yep. Because otherwise you just get overwhelmed and you feel guilty that you're not doing anything and you're just surviving. And that's not God's best for us.
Yeah.
And so just picking one thing that you can be intentional about in your home, and that's doable.
Yes.
Everybody can squeeze in one little thing that they can do intentionally with their kids.
I'm really glad you said that, because I think sometimes moms can hear us talk about these things and they're like, gosh, you guys, you're doing, the pumpkin, you're telling the gospel as you carve your pumpkin and you're, you're having people over to your house for soup before you go trick-or-treating, and you're like, I do not have the margin to do all that. No, none of us have the margin. We pick one thing.
Right.
And then I loved what you said, because then as we implement these traditions, they become part of our system. They become part of our rhythm.
Yes.
And my husband always says, I might mess this quote up a little bit, but he says that he read this in a book, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to our systems.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever systems you have in place, those are the things that are going to kind of keep happening in your life.
Yeah.
And so we want to look at, that's part of what this intentionality is about, is putting these systems in so that, especially based around the months, that they're already in place. So as that month rolls around, we've already got that system there. So we know.
You have that Valentine mailbox ready to go from last year.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yeah.
We already have our, we know that we're going to use these leaves and write things we're thankful for, right?
And the kids begin to look forward to that too.
Yes. And so that we have these systems in place that helps us be intentional and implement those values.
So as I'm sitting here thinking about all these things, they're so good. And we are entering in our family a phase where I've got teenagers. And I just want to say to that mom out there, because I think when I was early in motherhood, I wanted all the traditions. Like I want everything because the little kids are so excited about it. And I have noticed as my kids have gotten older, they're not quite as excited about some of those little things that we do. And so what I want to say to you, Mama, is don't feel bad about letting go of something that you tried and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Like it's okay if you try it 1 year or 2 years and then the next year you're like, you know what, that doesn't work for our family. Be flexible in changing as your kids change. So as they get older and their interests change and even their availability changes, because my oldest now, I barely see him because he's so busy. And so I'm having to be more creative with how to be intentional with him. And so what we want you to hear too is that this is not something that you sign up for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
This is something that you ask the Lord to continue growing in you. So even as your kids get older, you can do things that are going to matter to them in that season of their life.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I saw an author post yesterday, a picture of, I think she has 5 boys, Ruth.
Ruth Simons. I love her. Yes.
And she was showing them all learning to cook like chicken pot pie or something in their kitchen. And she was like, y'all asked me, how do I get my teenagers to have intentional time with me? And she said, that's how, is I just call them in and say, hey, this is what we're doing right now. And I'm going to teach y'all how to make chicken pot pie and your wives are going to thank me later.
Yeah.
So changing it up to make it work,
Yes. And based on the number of kids you have, bless her heart, she actually has 6 boys. One of
6.
them has already left the nest.
Okay.
But I think about that all the time. If you've got 1 kid in your family or 3 kids in your family or 10 kids in your family, every family's different. So you can't compare what somebody else's family does to yours.
Right.
You have to ask the Lord to tell you, Lord, what's important for my family?
Right.
How can I be intentional with my kids?
Yeah. And that could be her one thing that she's working on, is that chicken pot pie thing, you know?
Yep.
And I think it's just really good for us to talk about, because, for me, I don't want to look back on the years that I had my kids in my home, or even when I get to grandparent stuff and say, okay, yeah, they played soccer, they made straight A's, they had friends, but did I disciple them?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
The Great Commission is for moms too, that
Right.
we make disciples. And so I want to be about that. I would rather them never kick a soccer ball or, make C's and know Jesus, right? And I get to do that by being intentional.
Yeah. You make time for what's important.
Yeah.
We make time to brush our teeth
Yeah.
because it's important.
Yeah.
We can make time for things that are important. And it may mean that other things have to go away for, a bit, but saying, hey, this is important to our family and refocusing on that.
I love that.
I do
Okay.
too.
So all season we've been talking about these big things, like we've mentioned to you, that make a real difference in our days, like more gospel power, more prayer, more Bible. And we've been asking our guests, what do you wish moms have more of? If there was one thing that you could give moms more of, which I wish we could give every mom, like an endless Target shopping card, right?
Awesome.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Listen, and she needs to use it quick because there ain't going to be no Christmas presents.
Oh,
So
we just had a side conversation.
mamas start shopping now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Time.
Everything in the world is sitting on a shipping container outside of California or the other coast. And so if you want those toys or whatever to get here, or also maybe just consider, what if we just do no presents?
Oh, she did not even say that. I did not even hear that come out of her mouth.
Or just something different this year. But anyway, we were having a whole conversation before we started recording about that.
Now, I would say that for moms, I want them to have more community. I think that moms are so lonely and isolated, and in every season. So whether you're a grandma or your kids have left the house, or they're in college away and your house is empty and quiet, or you're in the throes of it as a mom with kids in your home, and a busy schedule maybe prevents you from having time with mom friends because you're just all in with your kids. And so I would say that I would love for moms to have more community and more time to invest in that and to invest in those friendships. And I think for moms to just be intentional to reach out to try to find that. So if you don't have mom friends or mom community that you can call on, that you're growing together regularly, then really praying and asking God to provide that for you, and start opening your eyes to the world around you, inviting moms over to your house, starting up a gather group. There are so many moms that are anxious for other mom friends. And so you providing an outlet for that and you stepping out of your comfort zone to do that could mean the world to another mom that also is struggling.
Well, and I think one of the things that I feel like God's been whispering to me is that, sometimes when you go to these events where you're seeing all the other moms, right? Like at pickup or a class party or at church, I think sometimes I just assume they all have friends.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, I feel like God's trying to say to us, would you open your eyes to the mom out there that really is isolated and she doesn't have that confidence to step out on her own, and she needs you to go to her and invite her. And I think it's so important for those of us that have friends, don't assume everybody else does too.
So many don't. I feel like I'm told that all the time. Like, I was so lonely. I didn't know anyone. I just moved here. I just became a stay-at-home mom, or and every season changes as a mom. So your friend groups naturally change. So it may be that your friends were all your kids' friends' moms, and y'all saw each other at basketball games and cheerleading events or whatever. But now that the kids have graduated, you don't have a reason to see them anymore. And so you have to intentionally find new friends or, help build up those old relationships. And so it's just every season, I think, is different. And so moms just have to be intentional, find that community. Don't just hunker down inside your house. Don't be a recluse and say, everybody else has a friend. I'm just the only one that doesn't.
Yeah.
Reach out. Ask other people to come in, to welcome them into your house and help find that community.
Love that.
Well, at our event that we had this past weekend, Jenny was able to help moms get into community through our gather groups. And so can you just tell our mamas, if they're like, okay, I'm ready to do that, how can they find a gather group?
Yeah, so we make it super easy for you. If you go to our website, gathermoms.com, it is super clear and easy where you can start a group. And we provide all the resources that you need. We encourage you. We'll reach out to you with our family values curriculum. It's on Amazon, so it's super easy. Can be here probably tomorrow on your porch. And, it's something easy. If you're in a different stage of life, there's other curriculums on there. We have one for launching mamas, and we have one for moms that are parenting their grown children or grandparenting. And so there's curriculum on there for every stage of life. And it's just, easily accessible at gathermoms.com, and you can start a group, and then we will reach out to you and give you the resources you need to keep going at it.
Okay, so that's great. Yes, it is. It's super clear on the website that you just go to gathermoms.com, click join a group or start a group, and you can find all of that information. And then, like you just said, if they want the Family Value Study Guide, that is on Amazon. We'll link that in the show notes. And you can watch the videos on Right Now Media. We will also link those in the show notes. And so we want to make this as easy for you as possible, because moms, we really do believe that you need to be in community, that it matters.
Yeah.
And you may need to be intentional about finding community, and we want to help you do that. So if you get stuck along the way, reach out to us on social, send us us a message. You can contact us through the website. Our heart is really for you to win and for you to find community with other moms. So we would love to come alongside of you. So reach out, let us know how we can help, and we will do that. Hey, thank you so much for being with us today, Jenny. It is so fun to have you. It feels like the perfect way to end our More season by kind of bringing this all together and celebrating the more that God has done also in our lives. You know, He is the God of abundance. He does more than we could ever ask, think, or imagine, and He has done that in our own lives. And for moms who are listening, and maybe you're new to this whole Gather thing, and you're like, man, these girls are getting all these opportunities. Listen, you guys, we have been sowing in the quiet for a long time. And I think people come up to us and they're like, well, recently I've had a lot of people coming up to me and saying, well, what's next? You know, well, I don't know. We're just going to keep sowing faithfully. And we just happen to be in a season right now where we're getting to see the harvest. And as believers, we don't always get to see it. And as mamas, we don't always get to see it. Yeah. So I would just ask you to just continue to sow faithfully. And we serve an abundant God who is going to bless you beyond your wildest dreams. It may not be tomorrow. It may be 5 years from now, which is, you know, kind of what it looked like for us. But just keep sowing faithfully.
Doing the next right thing. That's something that God told us several years ago. Yeah. Like, don't try to plan too far ahead. God's going to give you the visions and dreams and help you be the mom that you're called to be and the ministry that He's called you to. But just every day, just doing the next right thing that He's called you to. If that means reaching out to a mom at the playground that you're nervous to talk to, just do it. Yeah. Just do the next right thing He's telling you to do.
Hey moms, thank you for joining us for this season. We have some really cool things coming up for you in our next season, and we cannot wait to tell you all about them. But this wraps up our season of More. We love you. We're so thankful that you are here, and we will see you next time.
Bye, moms.
Bye.
Gather Moms is part of a whole community of women who mom in any way, and we want you to connect to that community. Go to gathermoms.com to learn how to join a Gather group.